Feliz lunes a todos. Lo siento, no estoy obviamente en la escuela hoy porque estoy en casa. Hoy vamos a repasar el subjuntivo otra vez. This time you're going to actually have to write out your own notes, excuse me, on a piece of paper, and I'm going to check them. So write out as much in detail as you can. If you check the book, this information is also on page 248. Now, we've learned one version of the subjunctive already, or several versions, 3, okay? So you already know subjunctive with impersonal expressions. So that's like saying, es necesario que los estudiantes estudien. We've learned with verbs of hope, yo espero que ella venga a la fiesta. And verbs of influence, yo te sugiero que no fumes, o te prohíbo que grites, etc. Okay, so we've learned how to use the subjunctive. It's the same formula. We have the verb and the indicative separated by K, new subject, verb, and the subjunctive, okay? So essentially the next 2 that we're going to learn follow that rule, okay? So we're going to start with emotion first, and then we're going to move to doubt, duda. And the ones with doubt are the ones that are going to be a little bit trickier, okay? Now, many of these verbs are on the back of your vocabulary sheet. Now, this is what we're going to be covering. So, subjunctive with emotions. It's the same concept, okay? You're going to have an expression of emotion, and the verb that follows that is going to be in the subjunctive, okay? So, we're going to use the subjunctive regardless of whether or not the information is true or not, but with emotion we use subjunctive, okay? So for example, me alegro, which is I'm happy, okay? So the first subject in this is yo, que tú estés aquí. So I'm happy that you are here. We have 2 subjects, which is what we need, separated by que. This verb is in the indicative, it's emotion, and this one's in the subjunctive, okay? So with all of our verbs that express emotion, we're going to use subjunctive, okay? Let's look at some of these expressions. Now you need to know these. Some of these are already on your sheet. Some of them are not. So you have to know them because you will see them. Alegrarse is to be happy. Encantar, to love. Enojarse is to be angry. So like you say, yo estoy enojada. Enojarse is to be angry. Me enojo, te enojas, etc. Es una lástima. You've learned that. It's a pity. Es sorprendente. These are also, of course, impersonal expressions. It's surprising. Es triste. It's sad. Estar contento. To be content. Estar emocionado. To be excited. Estar triste, sad. Gustar. Okay, this one you got to be careful with. But gustar is a verb of emotion, to like. Sorprenderse, to be surprised about. Or to, yeah. Sentir is to be sorry. Temer is to fear. Tener celos is to be jealous. Just a second, honey. Okay, I forgot where I was. Tener celos de is to be jealous of. Tener miedo is to be afraid of. Y es una pena it's a pity. Although it looks like it's a pain, but it's not, it's a pity, okay? So these are ones you're going to see when we talk about expressing emotion. Okay, again, the formula is the same.
You sit there or else you're going to your room.
We have an expression of emotion in the indicative, then we have it separated by the word que, a different subject and subjunctive, okay? Me encanta que no tengamos escuela durante el verano. So here we have it in the indicative. I love that we don't have school in the summer. Okay? Verb of emotion, subjunctive. And the subject here is nosotros, and the subject here, the subject here is really this part, but it's a different subject, okay? Oops. ¿Te enojas que haya tarea los viernes? Are you angry or that there's homework on Friday? Okay, so let's do some practice. You're going to have to pause. Oops, you're going to have to pause so that you can try to do this on your own. My suggestion is that you actually try to do it, that you don't just like write down the answer. Okay, so it's surprising that it's good weather. Es sorprendente que haga buen tiempo. He's jealous that she has a boyfriend. Él tiene celos de que ella tenga un novio. Ellos están contentos. You could also have used ellos se alegran que su abuelo visite. Okay, now you look here in English, it says will. We're not going to use the future. We use subjunctive here. Okay, a little bit more. Oops. So again, pause it because I'm going to move ahead. Tenemos miedo de que el niño esté muy enfermo. Estoy triste que tengas que salir mañana. Okay, so here you have it. Pretty easy, huh? Okay, this one's pretty straightforward again because it's with emotion. The next one that we cover with doubt is the one that is a little bit trickier. On the back side of your worksheet for your homework, or for your vocabulary, it tells you there's a list of expressions used with subjunctive and expressions used with indicative. And that means that when we use one of those expressions, we're going to either use subjunctive or indicative. So this is where it gets a little bit more difficult because you have to remember what uses what. So let's just go through this. So again, in English, it's going to be a little bit different than it is in Spanish. In English, we use indicative. In Spanish, we use subjunctive. Okay, so for example, I don't believe that fame is important. Whereas in Spanish, no creo que la fama sea importante. Here I have, again, a different subject, yo, separated by K, another subject, subjunctive, okay? And then I have this expression of doubt. Doubt or disbelief, okay? We use the subjunctive after an expression of doubt, okay? That's because it's saying like the second half is untrue, uncertain, okay? Here are expressions with doubt, which you have all, but I think the last two on your sheet. I can't remember which ones. I think the ones in red you don't have. So again, we have no estar de acuerdo con, which is to not be in agreement with. So yo no estoy de acuerdo, tú no estás de acuerdo, etc. And negar, this is a stem changer. So niego, niegas, niega, negamos, negáis, niegan. This means to deny. Okay, so you do need to add that. And these are, you might have more on your side, I can't remember. Okay, but the formula is the same. So we're going to have the expression of doubt, separated K, different subject, subjunctive, okay? Es dudoso, it's doubtful, que tengamos el partido en la lluvia. No estoy segura de que ella necesite el libro para clase. So I am not sure that she needs the book for class. Okay, but you must be careful because oftentimes either adding the word no or replacing or taking out the word no can change whether or not you can use subjunctive. Okay, for example, dudas que yo reciba una mala nota. So this expresses doubt. You doubt that I will receive a bad grade. Indicative, if I add no in front of doubt, which is now saying you don't doubt, so there is no doubt, so there is no subjunctive, that I receive a good or a bad grade. Or I will, too, can express that. These are the expressions that do not use subjunctive, which is, they're all on the back of your list except for probably the bottom two here. Okay, again, so this is the same as before, except for it means to not deny or to agree with. Okay, so you do need to study and know these. Okay, let's go through some examples. No dudo que él viene, so I don't doubt that he's coming. Dudo que él venga, I doubt that he's coming. Creo que ella estudia, I believe she studies a lot. No creo que ella estudie mucho, I don't believe. Okay, now I know like in English you think, well, believe could be, there could be some doubt there, but when you look at these expressions, you need to remember one is subjunctive, one is not. Es verdad que yo soy inteligente. It's true. It's not true. Okay?
Tomorrow.
Translation. So again, pause after every one and try to work it out. I'm going to go through and give you the answers. So press pause. Okay. It isn't certain. No es cierto. So there's doubt or uncertainty is another way of looking at it. And so because it's uncertain, subjunctive. It isn't true. You're going to use subjunctive. We don't doubt, so there's no doubt, and therefore no subjunctive. Okay, a couple more. Press pause. Okay, I'm not sure. Uncertainty. De que él venga. Press pause again. No es dudoso que él sale. There's no doubt, no subjunctive. And she doesn't agree. Pause. Okay. Okay, you don't have to do this. Now you're going to do the practice on Schoology. Hasta luego.